Come with us on a coastal hike along one of the prettiest stretches of coastline in New South Wales, Southwest Rocks. This stunning 10-kilometre one-way trail winds its way through secluded beaches, hidden coves and rugged headlands, with the breathtaking views from the capes and hilltops along the way. From crystal clear water to dramatic coastal scenery, every turn of this hike feels like paradise. Welcome back to the Shin, guys. We are at Southwest Rocks and today we're doing the Smoky Bay Lighthouse over to Trial Bay. So this one we're going along the beaches, up over the headlands. It doesn't really say too much on all trails about there's actual tracks. There is for most of it, but I think instead of ducking right back up in the bush, we're just going to try hug the land around and see if we can get all the way to Trial Bay along the coast and just check out this awesome scenery. I'm with my wife's cousin Zach today. We just approached the end of the first beach. You probably see the lighthouse behind me. But it's a good day. Looks like the sun's about to come up soon, which is going to be mad. Alright, we are coming off the first beach. The access trail is pretty easy to find. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information as we kind of go around this track if anybody else is going to do it. I'm also going to make our own All Trails nav, so if anybody has All Trails that they can just jump onto my profile and then see where we went, and then you'll be able to correlate what you're seeing in this video and then where you're going. It's strange that this one doesn't have an actual track on All Trails because I think this would be popular, right? Okay, we're going to approach the second beach now. We've gone past the two first bigger beaches and we've come to this small beach. This is where All Trails doesn't have like a mark that goes over this place. But there's actually a map when you start that says this is the actual walking track. So it's actually not that hard to find. I thought it would have been bush bashing a bit more, but it's super easy. But check out this cool little beach. So we've come to the peak out after the beaches from Smoky Cape Lighthouse, which is up there. We've come along these beaches here and back up underneath here. And we've got sunrise. Sun's on my face. There's a kangaroo over there just living life. Pretty special. Okay, let's keep going. More energy, more passion, more passion. Alright, so to get to Cobble Beach, instead of walking all the way up the hill, there is a side track that we're going to follow to go over to Cobble Beach, which is down there, and then over to Gap Beach. The more apparent access track is the parky track, like the car track. There is a little white sign just here near my finger that says point right to go to the cobble, or you're going the right way, but it's about 50 meters back from that. Otherwise, you've got to walk all the way up to the top of that hill up there and then down to the beach. Well, this track should just take us over the little Cobble Beach and then over to Gap Beach, hopefully on that nice little hill. So there's another one of these up there if you keep taking the access path, but the actual entry point's 50 meters before this little white sign. But once you start on this path, it's quite easy to follow. All those massive fish. Alright, so we've taken this track down to, this is called Cobble Beach. It's just a tiny little beach with no like car access or anything like that, and not very good signage to get here, but there's massive fish down in the water, so we're going to go down here and check them out. Alright, so I thought this path was going to be somewhat easy, but we've slipped over a couple of times. It's not the most defined getting around Cobble Beach, but the parkies have helicoptered in these giant stones to make steps, so maybe they just haven't got to this part yet. It's not overly hard, just watch your step, otherwise you're falling down the hill. Alright, we just come out of the bush. We are at the Gap Beach picnic area. About to go walk down onto Gap Beach and walk the length of the beach. There is a track inland that goes up, but stuff it. It's a beautiful day. I'm going on the beach. We made it to Gap Beach. So pretty. It's quite a long beach, this one, and either side of the beach is bordered by these really big hills, which you can probably see behind me. There is an access road to this beach. My wife and I found it last time, so you actually drive up through those hills. It says 4-wheel drive access only, but you can get down there with 2-wheel drive. It's not that hard. So we're walking along this beach. It's probably going to take us 5-10 minutes to get down here till we hit the forest again, and then we're going to climb up over that hill all the way right into the jail. Okay, so the exit point from Gap Beach, we walked past it a little bit. If you see a big log just up on the sand, up on the dunes, it's probably only about 25 meters from that to head up into the bush and then up over the hill to head to Little Bay and then out to the jail. Alright, off the beach, picnic table. I don't know where this goes. There is a couple of paths. I haven't seen any cars or anything yet, so we're just following whatever trail, but I know we have to go up over the hill. Make sure you've got some sort of nav for this hike. We've taken a few little wrong turns. There's so many like different ways you can go, but that goes to a car park and a longer way around, while this is the entry point that goes up the hill. So just keep an eye out. There's a little bit of orange tape. And the track's not super well defined, but this is basically a shortcut to get to the top of the hill. Okay, that got the heart pumping. We're at the top of Little Smoky. It's a pretty hard slog uphill, and it's just uphill. There's kind of no reprieve, like there's no flat spots. But we're up the top now. We can see out to the ocean through the trees, and now it's just heading down the hill to Little Bay. But yeah, if you're doing this trip, just be prepared to put the legwork in, because it is pretty steep. Alright, we've been heading downhill for a bit. This is hurting the other part of the legs because it's still pretty steep. But we're getting down towards Little Bay. It looks like we're coming out to the coast now. Be able to see some water. It's been a nice walk so far. Pretty easy going, really, except for that uphill section, but you got to do some of the hard stuff to get to the good places, I guess. Alright, we made it to Little Bay. That's Overshot Dam. And this is obviously parking and picnic area. So we've still got one more hill to go. We are probably go check the Little Bay out, and then there's a path that runs up around the headland, which is another hill to climb, but it's nowhere near what we just come down. So we'll just cruise over the top, we'll make it to the jail, and then it's pepper steak pie or a bacon and egg roll time, I think. Okay, last hill, Monument Hill Walk. We've been coastal the whole time, so we're going coastal. But there is another trail. It looks like you can still get to Trial Bay Beach. But this way goes to a lookout, so we'll go there. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. Check out next week. We're heading to Larapinta Falls. Yoo!